After watching the first two videos, we should have now downloaded Microsoft Visual Studio Express, and we should have gotten open our program and added our main.cpp file, and we're ready to actually start writing our first program that we ought to write, which is called the Hello World program. Now, in this video, I'm just going to go over the things that you need in order to write this program, and then you'll need to submit it to me through eLearning by this coming Tuesday. And so I want to go over those steps with you. So here's the first thing. Inside of a program, everything needs to be done inside of a function. And by convention, inside C++, we always start out with a function that we call main, and it has the following format. So the int in the C++ language means integer. The name that I have right here, main, is the name of the function, and then we have these open parentheses. Later on we'll talk about functions that take in an input or an output, but in terms of the main function, we're saying we don't, the empty parentheses means we don't need to input anything into the function in order for it to work. However, this integer that precedes the main means that at the end of the program we are going to return an integer value. The program is going to run its course, and then the last result is we need to output an integer. And so what we always need to type inside the main program is we need to return an integer. We type the word return, and by convention we always just return 0. So every program that you ever write in C++ should start this way. Integer main, open parentheses. You've got these little squiggly brackets that must start and stop. My version of this software was nice enough to add them for me, and you should have this return 0 command. Alright, now here the thing is, we want our program to actually do something. So what we're going to need to do is come up before integer main. We're going to want our program to just pop up a window and say hello to the world. Hello world, which means that I need access to something what's called the input and output stream. And the way that I access that is I put a pound sign, pound include, little angled brackets, and I put IO stream, and that stands for input output stream. I want my program to be able to talk. Now the next thing I'm going to need to put down is a little bit of a technicality, but we're going to write using namespace standard, std, and we're going to end this command with a semicolon. Everything in the C++ programming language, any command that you give, has to end with a semicolon. What we've done here is we've said we've included this library. We want to include some words that C++ doesn't naturally know about. We want to use them in our program. And so anytime we introduce our own words, those are words, for instance, that wouldn't appear in blue when we're typing here. We need to put sort of a namespace on them. And what we want to use is the standard namespace. So in order to avoid doing a little bit of typing, if we one time put this using namespace standard command before starting the main program, we'll be able to save ourselves a lot of typing as we go on throughout the program. So we need these two things to come, the include IO stream and the using namespace std. These things need to come before we start programming inside of our main function. From here on out, all commands that we want the program to execute need to be happening inside the main function before we return this value of 0. Returning the value of 0 is what tells the program main to stop, so we want all of our previous commands to come before that. Now, what do we want our program to do? What we want our program to do is very simple. We want our program to just pop up a window and say hello to the world. So what I want to do is I want to put out to the console, cout, the statement, hello world. We're excited about it, so we'll put an exclamation mark. And so this is, let me explain what we just typed in here. We want to output to the console the phrase hello world. So cout is that expression output to the console. Then I need to put two of these little angled brackets running in this direction to say what do I want to print out to the console, and then what I need to put is in parentheses, or in these quotation marks, whatever it is I want to say. What I wanted to say was hello world, and this is exactly how I wanted it to appear. Then I put two more of these little brackets to indicate that that's the end of what I want printed out to the console. And what I've done here is I've added this ENDL phrase at the end saying end the line. I want, all this is really going to do is it's going to take my cursor, and instead of having my cursor and my console window ending after the exclamation mark in hello world, it's going to put it on a new line for me. That's not even really a necessary step, it's just something I do visually. And since this is all we want our program to do, is to output to the console the phrase hello world and then break to a new line. We end our instructions through the computer with a semicolon so it knows that we're done talking, and then we want the program to be done. That's all we've got to do. Now, that's the program that we need to write. How do we actually make it run? How do we actually make it do it? For this, what I would do is I would just go right up here. You could get there through debug and hitting start without debugging, but what I prefer to do is just hit this nice little button that's been put right here, this little green button, and I push it, and then everything should happen. Now, what just happened? Something flashed up on the screen, but before I could even register or see what it was, it just stopped, it went away. Now, this is something that's going to happen with technically the way that I've written the program. All I told the program to do was to output hello world and to show it to me on the console screen. The program literally did that, and broke to the new line, but then it didn't know that I wanted it to stick around. It didn't know that I wanted the console screen to stay where I could see it after it had done its job of outputting the phrase hello world. And so that's why it just sort of flashed before my eyes and then disappeared. So if I want the computer to keep that console screen up there for me so I can look at it for more than a blink of the eye, what I need to do is tell the program that that's what I want to do. So I say to it, I want the system to pause. Stop what you're doing, system, and pause for me. And now, when I debug, it says, oh, okay, not only did you want me to print out hello world, but you wanted me to hold that console screen there for me so that you could take a look at it. Now, when I push a key, it will disappear. So this is the hello world program that I'd like you to write and submit on Tuesday in time for class. Now, here our program's all done and our program is written. What I want to do next is I want to show how do I actually upload this to eLearning, because when you upload this to eLearning there are some things that I'd like from you. So let's see if we can do that. Let's minimize this. Let's open up our eLearning website. I've put this under trial assignment just so that I can submit everything, but if you go underneath assignments there will be a first program that you've written, a hello world application where I'd like you to do your uploading. But you want to click on the assignment you want to upload some files for. And I would like two things. I would like you to upload two files. I'd like you to upload that document, main.cpp, so I can open up your source code and take a look at it. But I'd also like you to send me just the executable file, which is just the ability to sort of run the program and see what the output was for your program. Before I show you how to upload them in here, let me just show you how you'd find them on your computer. So let's remember, I am going to My Documents, and under My Documents there was a Visual Studio 2013 folder, and there's a Projects folder. And inside here you see I actually have a couple different projects, but the one I just worked on was Hello World. So I'm going to open up Hello World. That's the project I was looking on. The first thing I would like is your main.cpp file. That can be found inside of Hello World. So I click Hello World, and then here, right down here is main. It's my C++ source code. This is one of the things I'm going to want you to submit. So again, that's found inside. I clicked on my project, Hello World. I clicked on Hello World again, and then there's my main file, my .cpp file, my source code. The next thing I want to do is I want to go into the debug folder, and I'd also like your executable, or otherwise known as your application here. See what happens when I click on that and I hit enter is it just pops up the result of running the program, which is it says Hello World, and then I press my key to continue. So those are the two things I'd like you to submit, is both the application, which is found in the debugging folder, and then the main source code, which is found in the Hello World program, or whatever the name of the project is. Okay. So let's see just how to upload those to eLearning. I'm in eLearning, I'm in my homework assignment, and it says you have to upload a file. So let's upload one file. Choose my file. Again, I'm going to go to my debug folder, and I'm going to project Hello World. I'm going to go into Hello World and upload my main file. That's one thing that I'd like to do. I'd like to add that file. Then there's another file that I'd like to upload. That is in this debug folder. I'd like to upload my application file, which is Hello World. That's another thing that I would like to upload. I should be able to tell them apart, the CPP file and the executable file, just from the names and the extensions of the files. And when you're finished, you can turn in your homework assignment, and you'll be all done.